Hello and welcome to this video. So today we're going to be talking about pentatonic groupings of 4. So this is from my book Modern Pentatonics, which is available from my website. The link will be in the description. So as well as many other topics, in this book we talk about pentatonic groupings. So pentatonic groupings are a huge part of developing pentatonic language. You'll hear them in all styles of music, whether that be rock, jazz, classical, or folk forms of music. So the examples that I gave in the book, well, the example for groups of 4 was Wayne Shorter's song Armageddon from his album Night Dreamer. It goes like this. So that's a pentatonic groups of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then back up the pentatonic scale. Another example was Chinatown by Thin Lizzy, where in the guitar break we hear. So that's just a pentatonic groups of 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and so on. So, as I said, you really hear these through all styles of music. They're super common, so it's really important to have the technique down to play them. So let's have a look at our example. So that was our pentatonic scale grouped in 4s. So usually we see these played in their 2-note per string patterns, which looks like this. So they're extremely important shapes too. By understanding both options, you should have a better knowledge of the fretboard. So although they're really important, I find by incorporating 3 notes per string in certain positions, then it allows for greater fluency, especially when playing these at speed. So let's have a look at how we do that. We're going to start on our top string, and we've got our C, E flat, and F. And we're going to start on the top note, which is obviously F. So we've got F, E flat, C, and then a B flat on the next string. And then we play the 2-note per string pattern from the top note in the position, which is E flat, C, B flat, and G. So if you're new to this, you probably want to start by just taking that small little fragment and repeating it. You want to gain confidence and finger strength. Try and speed it up. Try and get real confidence. And the idea would be to be able to do that while speaking. If you think of about a great like Wayne Shorter or McCoy Tyner, then these guys aren't going to be thinking about the technical struggles of playing the phrase or of trying to find the notes as they're playing it. Their mind's going to be free, and that's going to allow them to focus on the resolution of the line or on other phrasing matters. So you want to be just as free yourself, which is why talking while you do it kind of preoccupies your mind on what you're saying, so it kind of shows, oh, is this muscle memory or not yet. So once you've got that really nice and confident, you can move on to the next pattern, which is exactly the same but on the next set of strings. So starting on the B string, it's going to be C, B flat, G, F, and then back up to our B flat, G, F, and E flat. And then you can combine those 2 string sets. And then we continue. So I'm not going to talk you through each fret number. I don't think you need your handheld in that manner. You can always just refer to the tab. So let's talk about other things that we need to consider. So obviously you need to be confident in all positions. I will be doing a video in greater depth on my Patreon, and that will include all positions and also all the groupings that you need to know. So those are groups of 3, 4, 5s, and 6s. The reason why I stopped there is because once you understand the fingering for those groupings, you will have the ability to perform any number of groupings because the technique crosses over. So as long as you understand those, you will be free within this concept. It'll also include alternative picking options as well. We'll talk later in the video about how I pick this, but if you want economy picking options and alternative options, then that will all be included in the PDF that supports the video on Patreon, so please consider supporting me over there. Anyway, so we've got our other positions, or our groups of 4. So you really need to be confident all over the fretboard. You don't want to get to a certain place and then be stuck, you know, be hearing an idea and not being able to pull it off. So you really need to be diligent and disciplined and spend the time to get these groupings available to you in all positions. So let's talk about the picking first. So the way I pick this is the legato approach would be down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, and so on. Sometimes I'll do a more selective picking approach where I add 2 picks to the top string of each string set. So down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. So that adds a little bit extra articulation, which I also like. But as I said, there are many different options, and I will include all those options on the PDF on Patreon, so you can decide what's best for you. So some other things to consider are whether you want to roll on the middle note of each string set, like that, or whether you want to use different fingers, like that, or rolling it, or different fingers. So I'll be honest, I usually use different fingers. It's the more conventional technical approach. The thing about rolling is that sometimes the note can overlap and you got a little bit less control over each individual note. However, sometimes I will use the rolling technique, so it really depends on the situation. I would experiment with both and find what works best for you. So another thing to consider would be how to stretch these shapes. So if you do this with your hand, you'll realize if we stretch between our third and little finger, then this little finger is going to feel somewhat weak. Whereas if we support it with our other fingers and stretch between the first and the second finger, then it'll feel a lot stronger. I know this kind of looks like a gang sign or some Star Trek greeting, but hopefully it explains the point. So if we apply that to the guitar, it's far more important if we're doing larger stretches like single string triads. So there, it would be ridiculous to try and stretch between the third and the little finger. But even in these smaller stretches, like in groups of 3, for example, I would always stretch between the first and the second finger. Just because it gives me that extra strength that's needed. So hopefully those thoughts helped you somewhat, and you can develop this technique to be able to play these groupings at speed. So please consider looking at my website and looking at the book, or joining me over on Patreon, and I'll be releasing a new video very soon. So please like and subscribe to the channel. That would be greatly appreciated. And I look forward to seeing you very shortly for the next video.